federal government has advised Nigerians currently abroad to remain where they are as people traveling from one place to another stand a higher risk of getting infected with the coronavirus disease. The Minister of Foreign Affairs, Geoffrey Onyama, disclosed this in a statement signed by his spokesperson, Ferdinand Uwoye, and made available to newsmen in Abuja on Thursday. It should be noted that medical experts have advised that it is better for individuals to remain where they are, as people traveling from one place to another stand a higher risk of getting infected with COVID-19, Oyema said. Commenting on the federal government's initiative to evacuate stranded Nigerian nationals abroad, the minister said staff of the missions are already reaching out to Nigerians in their respective host countries, noting that in due course, the necessary details provided will enable the government to work out the logistics for proper implementation. Oyema said the country's diplomatic missions abroad are still discharging their essential duties amidst the current challenges caused by the coronavirus pandemic. He further stated that only officers responsible for strategic duties are to report to the Chancery of the basis of exigencies, while others are to perform essential assignments from home to minimize contacts at the office. He said the missions have continued to liaise with other countries as well as international organizations and render reports on key developments with a view of boosting the domestic efforts back home. Furthermore, our heads of mission have maintained communication with the leadership of the ministry at this period to keep the ministry informed of the conditions of Nigerians in their respective host countries, he said. The minister said Nigerian missions are expected to adhere strictly to all safety guidelines by host authorities in their respective posts in order to protect members of their families and others from the risk of exposure. Well, I think that is the normal thing for somebody, for a well-meaning person. You know that moving from places to places is one might stand the chance of at the risk of this pandemic that we are talking about. But the federal government came out and said, oh, they wanted to evacuate Nigerians who are abroad. That was what they said some days back, because they heard some countries have been doing that. All of a sudden they woke up to their responsibilities. But at some point, we started hearing that it's not as if they are going to do that for free, that you are going to pay that for you are going to pay you are going to pay for your flight ticket. So it's not free. And people are like, what do you guys really want? What do you mean? Is this how other countries have been treating their own people? And I'm sure maybe putting all of these things together, they just realize that it's not really it might not be doable, because the ideal thing for them to do is for you to evacuate them freely. They're not supposed to pay anything there, because these same people have been bringing money down to the country. Even the ones in the country, they are paying their taxes and what have you. So these are the times that you really need to help them, to show them that you care about them. But all of a sudden they change it. They don't think things through before they even come out to make them. And that's why you see that people don't even believe in most of their policies or any information coming out from the government, because I expected that they ought to have thought this through before even issuing out such statements, because they know they can't do it. There's nothing they will give you for free. It is only for them. Whatever that is coming into the country, or whatever the country is making as a revenue, it's just for all these leaders. And that's why they will tell you, oh, things are not enough, no enough money for things to go around the country. But the ones that are available, it is being shared, it's being allocated for themselves. Because ideally, you are evacuating your people. I'm not sure. I don't think they are supposed to be paying. Please, if I'm wrong, correct me if I'm really wrong. Because when are we going to enjoy, being a citizen of a country, especially Nigeria, that you are a citizen of this country, that you'll be proud, that they do things for you. But the reverse is the case. So they ought to have thought this thing through. Because, like I said, a well-meaning person will know that even going from places to places, and that's why they say stay at home. They say stay at home now. You are telling people to start moving their, it's not going to even be okay. But other countries are doing it, and they know how they are going to do it thoroughly, and everything will still be okay, because maybe they must have checked the cost and the cost. I meant to say, because if you bring them back to Nigeria, you have to quarantine them, and where are you going to keep them? And that is where the problem lies. So they don't think something through, because Like I always say, we don't have structure in place before now. That's why a lot of things are not just working. That is why they are finding it difficult. Even all this transfer and what have you, sharing this COVID fund that people donated, it is very, very, very difficult for them to go through because no structures in place before now. You are doing things anyhow, and now you want to come out and to make it seem that you want to do things right. It will not work because you cannot give what you don't have. So even people, in my opinion, of course, a lot of people might really want to come back, judging from the fact that maybe the country, the risk there, or maybe the cases there are just, numbers of the cases who are infected with this virus, it's just going up day in, day out, and it's so scary. Of course, some people might want to come back, and some people might like, oh, let me just stay back, because even if I go to Nigeria, I don't think I will be more secured. But before government will want to dish out any information, they have to think about it. You don't just say something today, tomorrow again you start, it shows that you are not serious. And how would people want to believe you in subsequent things when you bring them up? So that is just my own thinking, and that's just the way I feel about it. Someone says best decision they have made since the emergence of COVID-19. Someone says please stay there and keep to your host instructions to avoid escalating the disease in Nigeria. If it's a good idea, why did they allow those Chinese people in the country? How are we sure these Chinese doctors are not infected? The thing is, this government doesn't mean well for Nigerians. True talk, I don't understand this our government anymore. So funny. If your child was among them, will you tell them to remain there? Good talk. Let them stay wherever they are for now. Nigeria was not a good place for them before has now become a place to return. Nigeria has been declared a place for the poor ones. So the rich living abroad should remain there with their future or with their fortune. They shouldn't come and infest us the poor and the vulnerable here. Okay, but Nigerian government asked Chinese government why they are chasing Nigerian citizens that went there for business, and what went wrong. What that is the best option for now, because we cannot fight it if the case reach 1,000 people, because they should remain where they are, because that is the advice. But Chinese medical team, or whatever you call them, were allowed into Nigeria again against many advice. Oga, you people are very selfish and wicked. You know, everybody with their opinion concerning all of this. Someone said it means you should have advised your leader Nnamdi Kanu to come to your rescue. If it was Aboki or Fulani Esme, they would have been evacuated since. A change of policy. We were earlier told that efforts to lift stranded Nigerians abroad back home, which is the true directive. Among the Nigerians wishing to come back home, trying not to be trapped in their host country or countries, are are diverse professionals among and who are medics. Not that these experts don't have the money for their transport, but for the mere fact that there is a total lockdown globally, hence they are trapped. America, States of Israel, Britain, of course, other advanced countries evacuated their citizens from Nigeria, um, near Africa, despite their amongst war situation. Now, our own leaders are saying our own citizens should stay there where they are, with this apprehension that the southern wave are mostly affected. Please arrange and effect their easy passage without delay, so that the medics among them will further put in their own quota in the treatment and preventing the spread of this COVID-19. What can our federal government do for Nigerians? Only to steal money. Other countries are evacuating their citizens. Our own governments are stealing money. Of course, just like I said, other countries, because they have structure in place, and they were able to evacuate their people, and they didn't tell them stay back because of the, you stand the high risk of coming back, because you are, as you are moving from places to places, because they have structure in place and they can really take care of those people. But when it comes to, because they are going to spend money, they are going to spend enough money, and if they don't want to go through that route. Just like I said, when it comes to the normal Nigerian people, they wouldn't want to spend money. They would tell you, no enough money, no this and that. But of course, they are not going to come out and tell you that, because if others are evacuating their people and they didn't tell them they could stand chances of getting infected, then why is it that our Nigerian government cannot even do the same thing? But like I said, for a well-meaning person, don't just even risk your life, because these people, they don't have what it takes in the real sense. But if it were to be their own immediate families, of course they will do everything possible. And people have been asking the same questions that the Chinese people that came, that why did they not tell them not to come? Because they'll be risking their lives. But again, they will tell you, they chartered the flight, airpeace, they chartered airpeace flight, for them to come. A lot of narratives and what have you. But the best thing, anyway, you are, just stay back, because even the Nigerian government is not ready for anybody. Just stay back and watch and take all the precautionary what have you, so that you'll be okay. So that is just my own opinion. But this idea of going back and forth, oh, today you have to do this, oh, tomorrow we are not doing it again, is not helping. Leave your comments below, guys, and let's have your take.